Well, it's morning this time, and we are Danny Gray days away from 49ers Veteran Report Day. Yes, that means 6 days away from 49ers Veteran Report Day. It's Wednesday. The date that I'm talking about is Tuesday, July 25th. So 6 days away. The rookies continuing their conditioning at the 49ers facility this week, getting in shape for some injury prevention before the time that the 49ers veterans show up. So why don't we talk about Danny Gray? Because he only had one catch for 10 yards over the course of his rookie season. Is he ready to take the next step? And I think the 49ers certainly hope so, because Kyle Shanahan has some visions for this offense. He wants to stretch defenses. He wants to blow the top off of defenses. So all that stuff underneath is all the more open. And the reason he drafted the speedster Danny Gray out of SMU last season in the third round was because he believed that Gray could do just that. But I don't think that Danny had the type of presence that you need to have to effectively command an NFL offense from the receiver position as a rookie, which isn't surprising, especially for Kyle Shanahan receivers who are swimming in new playbook knowledge to learn. It's typical that they need a little bit of time to truly emerge. And I think that we saw some progress from Danny Gray over OTAs as far as presence went. Body language. Body language often communicates someone's level of confidence. So when a receiver really shows up, you see him on the field. He carries himself both during the play and during the time in between plays. When he carries himself in a way that you notice, you know that that guy has some gravity behind what he's doing. You know that that guy knows what he's doing. And you know that quarterbacks can start to develop real rapport with him to trust him with delivering the football. I didn't really see Danny Gray last year. I could see him, but I couldn't see him, right? During OTAs, Danny Gray was definitely visible. He dropped a couple passes during OTAs. It wasn't perfect. There's still going to be a lot to clean up, but I do think that he has settled into the NFL rhythm. He has learned more of Kyle Shanahan's playbook, and it's not just the playbook. I think he has learned some of the nuances of route running. Every inch matters. Every slight twitch of the body matters. You want to lean in to your fake before you cut across the other way. You have to be deceptive in the NFL. You have to have command over the nuances to be a receiver that Kyle Shanahan is going to trust, because the nuances matter in the NFL. You can't just run by everybody and expect to be open by 5 yards. The small things are going to determine whether or not you could find that pocket. And I think that Danny Gray has started to master some of those things, and he showed up bigger in OTAs. He had that presence out on the field. Now, whether or not he can carry that over to more intense competition and training camp than the preseason and then the regular season remains to be seen. But if it does happen, then the 49ers will have their fastest wideout as a contributor on the field. And with Danny Gray, that would mean that the 49ers can open up a new book on their offense. I still remember the preseason game against the Packers last season. Trey Lance found Danny Gray, who burned by the whole defense deep. I know Green Bay was sitting a lot of its defensive starters, but some of the potential there was on display. And you could say that, yes, Danny Gray was drafted to pair with the fact that Trey Lance does like to chuck the ball up, throw downfield. But this is a benefit for any quarterback. Brock Purdy can throw deep as well. So can Sam Darnold. Hell, Brandon Allen can chuck it deep. If you're an NFL quarterback, you can hit somebody like Danny Gray when he's wide open downfield in stride. And by extension, it's even more important then, because this is a greater majority of the plays. If Danny Gray can threaten the defense with his speed, stuff does open up on the intermediate and in the short passes, then as a QB, you can hit that bread and butter. It's way more about the short game and the intermediate game in the NFL than it is about the deep game, which is why receiver presence on precise routes in the short to intermediate game is so important. You're not just going to be running go balls all day. We know that Danny Gray can run a go ball, but he also has to be able to precisely run the routes underneath, the slants, the crossers, the intermediate in patterns, the corner routes. That's what Danny Gray has to develop into his full arsenal. And I think that we saw some progress on display during the course of OTAs. You have to be a complete receiver that can deliver the entire route tree. And that is what the 49ers are looking for to crack that wide out rotation. So Danny Gray days away from 49ers Veteran Report Day. There's a good picture of Danny at SMU in the blue jersey. Everything else, though, at number 6 49ers jersey. How about a 49ers defense table setter here? Let's change the topic a bit, talking on this beautiful Wednesday morning. I just saw this graphic come across social media. I think it's a good one to really frame how this 2023 season is going to begin for the 49ers. So, this is an XY axis. Again, you want to be lower and further to the left in this one, not further to the right. Right side, bad. Left side and down, good. EPA per pass against. So this is the defense trying to limit passing efficiency is on the x-axis. So pass defense, better pass defenses are going to be further to the left. Worse pass defenses further to the right. EPA against the run game against is on the vertical axis. So better run defenses are going to be lower and worse run defenses are going to be higher. As you can tell, the San Francisco 49ers defense last season, the number one defense in all of football, was down near the corner, which is where you want to be. But the 49ers obviously hope they can make their number one defense even better in 2023. What does that mean? Well, I think that means that Jayvon Hargrave is on this team now. 49ers didn't have the best pass rush last year because they only had 3 sacks total out of all their defensive tackles on the season. So there's a spot to improve. Jayvon Hargrave was one of the best pass rushing defensive tackles in football. He was upset over his Madden rating of 84. He should be. That's the 17th highest rating amongst defensive tackles. In each of the past 2 seasons, Jayvon Hargrave has ranked in the top 3 in pass rush win rates. 11 sacks last year and a really good pass rush win rate, something like 17 or 18% last year. That's measured by ESPN. Chris Jones and Malik Collins were the only 2 DTs that were better than Jayvon Hargrave. He was better even than Aaron Donald last year, who for some reason still has a 99, despite the fact that he wasn't really available in the 2022 season. But anyway, Hargrave has been top 3 for 2 straight years, yet he's number 17 in Madden. Doesn't make much sense. Doesn't really matter, though, because the 49ers think he's going to improve the interior pass rush. They also think that the secondary has matured. Diamaro Lenore played his best football to close last season. They have Jair Brown on the football team now, and that secondary is going to benefit from the better pass rush thanks to Jayvon Hargrave. So the 49ers, in terms of this chart, they think they can move further to the left. They think they can get better against the pass with a better pass rush and a more mature secondary. And, well, the run defense was already good, but maybe they can get to the Eagles level in pass defense and the Titans level in run defense. That would ensure that the 49ers are, again, the number one defense in football. Interesting when you look at the Eagles here, they're good against the pass, but you can tell we talked about this entering the NFC Championship game, not great against the run. Obviously, the 49ers couldn't expose Philadelphia without a quarterback, but something to watch there. Remember the 49ers slog against New Orleans? This explains why. The Saints even better against the pass than the 49ers last year. Remember the slog against Dallas, the defensive battle? Well, this helps illustrate why. Cowboys, a comparable balanced defense to the 49ers. We didn't see the 49ers play the Patriots, but they also had a good defense last year. So the question is, can the 49ers defense improve from its number one status? And I think that the data shows what the challenge will be, and the acquisitions show that it is possible, but it obviously will be a challenge. All right, nice little morning show this morning. Let's get to 40,000. Like I said last night, we're only about 200 away from 40,000. Let's get there well before this party starts next week. We're 6 days away from the vet report day. So if you are sitting at your computer right now, just hit that sub button. It literally will take you 2 seconds, maybe less. If it takes you 2 seconds, it takes you too long. Let's do that. Let's get the 40K or 200 off, maybe a little bit more than that. So would appreciate the support. I want to start the season off with a clean slate, 40,000 subs. I mean, would be awesome. Then we could see where it goes from there in this 2023 season. 49ers Q&A, why not? Why not a couple rapid fire questions if you do have any? Eric Gomes says like. I'll put that up there if there are no questions. No updates on the Luter Jr. injury as of right now. We'll probably get some next week when we're in the facility. 49ers don't have to disclose anything in the preseason, but they'll probably talk about it next week. Appreciate you, Truman. 49. Who will Danny Gray compete with for playing time? Well, time for a look at our roster, right? Let's go through some of the competition for Danny Gray. Look at that receiver position. I have Danny making the team. Not necessarily at the Z position. I think that Danny Gray obviously is a burner. I think that the best that he could see is like that fourth wideout spot because Ayuk, Samuel, and Jennings are the top three wideouts. And then you have Ray McLeod as a gadget weapon and somebody who can replace Debo Samuel whenever Debo Samuel needs a breather. I think the competition for Danny Gray during training camp is going to be with Chris Conley, who is a veteran 30-year-old, also a burner. So if the 49ers need one speed weapon and Chris Conley impresses them a whole lot more than Danny Gray, well, look out if you're Danny Gray. But Danny's younger. Instead of a one-year contract, he's on a rookie deal with 3 more years of team control. The 49ers would certainly prefer for Danny Gray to assume that burner role for them offensively. So you look at somebody like Gray, and I think he's got a very specialized role, and he needs to hold off other players who can deliver in that very specialized speed role. Somebody like Chris Conley is such a player. Yeah, just refresh if buffering's bad on your end. I've got fiber internet here. It's fast, trust me. So those who said it was bad, I think you might just need to refresh the video. And if you missed any of it, the good news is you could rewatch it right after. Do you think Kyle Shanahan is willing to open up the playbook? Well, he already has opened up the playbook. I think by this, do you mean, do you think Kyle Shanahan is going to be throwing all over the field, throwing downfield? No, he's going to take shots as shots appear. It's not like Kyle Shanahan is against throwing deep. He has those plays every year. The 49ers just have to capitalize on execution, and the 49ers have to play within themselves to make sure that the defense is suckered up to the line of scrimmage so you can hit them with a deep pass. Shanahan likes to control the flow of the game. You can control the flow of the game if you're balanced between the run and the pass. He doesn't like to be at the mercy of just one aspect of football, the passing game or the running game. I think Shanahan always opens up the playbook. Kyle Shanahan is one of the most, if not the most creative play callers in the league. You could talk to anybody around the NFL, and those in the know will agree with that statement. Kyle Shanahan is not going to compromise complementary football. You can open up the playbook while still playing complementary football. I think we've seen it in prior years, and we're going to see it again in 2023. When Brock Purdy was healthy down the stretch, the 49ers were averaging 30-plus points per game. If that's not opening it up, I don't know what is. Well, everything's a lot easier when you have Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in all of football. But Patrick Mahomes' average depth of target was lower than Brock Purdy's last year. So I don't know if you meant throwing downfield as far as opening up, but the NFL, the efficient offenses are generating yards after the catch now. They're not afraid of the quick timing game to generate that yak. Make sure to subscribe. Let's get up to 40K. Not a lot of questions this morning, so I'm going to let everybody go. It's been a good morning, and we're going to have a lot more for you coming up soon. Everybody take care. Thank you, and hit that sub button right now. Bye now.